Former Kansas State guard Brendan Hausen is in the portal, and he has quite a list right now. Hausen actually started at Villanova, played 2 years at Villanova off the bench, did not do a ton, but was sort of this sharpshooting, just volume 3 point sniper that clearly is a very good shooter, very high level shooter. Ended up in the hands of Jerome Tang, Kansas State last year, where he got the biggest role of his career. It went okay, I would say. 33 minutes as a starter on a Kansas State team that was not good, but had a good stretch of their season where he was pretty good. Scored 11 points a game, shot 39% from three on 7 attempts per game. Very much living up to his billing as one of the best shooters in all of college basketball. Now, Brendan Hausen has one of the biggest lists that I think any player in the transfer portal currently can offer. There are some schools on this list that really intrigue me, and I'm just going to run through all of them quickly. This is per Tipton Edits. Hausen is receiving interest from the following schools: Gonzaga, Virginia, Kansas, Illinois, Tennessee, Virginia Tech, Ole Miss, Cincy, Missouri, Iowa, Oklahoma, Texas, Texas A&M, LSU, SMU, DePaul, Maryland, Georgetown, TCU, and Minnesota. So kind of all over the place. A bunch of high major, very good options for him. He's going to get paid for sure. I can promise you that. But you've got some of the best championship contending schools in the country on this list. You've got some, I don't know, middle of the pack in their conference high major teams. What do you make of Brendan Hausen and where this recruitment is headed?
Yeah, I'm gonna show my age. I don't even know if this is showing age. I'm gonna use this phrase here. Um, Brendan Hausen to me is the second coming of the original Heat Check Player of the Year. He gives me Sean McNeil vibes. You remember him, G?
Oh, absolutely. Our
Yeah, that
yeah, our Heat Check Player of the Year.
yeah, he was the very first one for all the OG sleeper listeners. I feel like we've been doing this long enough where we got OG listeners, but he's a player who, like, I watched Kansas State last year, and maybe it's even little disrespectful to call him a heat check type player, but when he gets it going from three, like, he can get his shot off whenever, even if it's contested from deep, and he hits it at a high clip on a high volume, right? So he's a player that can get hot. I think what he had was he almost 39% on 7 attempts, and that was the year before that he was 38 on almost 5 attempts a game. So I think that he's a player who can be in a sniper type role who, I have questions on, like, does he necessarily do anything besides shoot that lead to winning basketball because he played on two really bad Villanova teams and played on a bad Kansas State team. So his overall record as a player, not the best. But I think he is a guy who, does have some, he's not the biggest or tallest guy, but he's also just not the smallest guy in general. So uh, I think teams need guys that can shoot the basketball, and I think that Hausen is one of those players.
So I think his humongous list speaks to something that I believe is pretty true about his game.
That
We
Nick
know
Timberlake paved the way for the Brendan Housens of the world.
no, we know first of all, respect Brendan Hausen. He's a better player than that. But I think we know what the deal is with him based on what his 3 years in college have looked like. Now, I will say, I think you can throw out the lack of success at Villanova. I don't think it was Hausen's fault that Villanova was bad when he was coming off the bench for Kyle Neptune.
Neptune.
Right. But I think this year showed a lot. If Brendan Hausen is your go-to guy, you look a lot like Kansas State. We interrupt this sleepers video to talk directly to you, our loyal listener. Have you ever found yourself watching us two idiots thinking, hey, I wish there was a very easy, small way for me to show a token of my appreciation for all of their hard work on all these videos I love to watch? Well, now we have just the way to do that.
Thanks to the beautiful folks over at Underdog Fantasy. They are helping us out this month, presenting a lot of the content coming out this month, giving you a chance with a amazing offer that you can use using our promo code that Gregory will tell you more about.
Yeah, so college hoop season's over, but we got like big time golf tournaments. The NBA playoffs are coming. Baseball season's underway. There's still a bunch of sports on. There's still a bunch of ways to play with Underdog Fantasy. Promo code SLEEPERS. As a new customer, you can get up to 1,000 bonus credits plus a free pick. It's one of the most fun ways to play. It's a great way to support us. And on some actual like non-ad read stuff, talking genuinely here, really helps us because if Underdog loves us, if we get a lot of people to sign up, they're going to help us continue to bring you the content that you love. Show your support. Join Underdog Fantasy. Use promo code Sleepers. Get up to $1,000 in bonus credits and a free pick. That's
Hmm.
not great.
Hmm.
And I look at this list. I mean, there's what, 30 schools on this list? There are some schools on this list he would go be the first option at. I would advise both Brendan Hausen and those schools to not go that route.
Hmm.
I would advise anyone who is trying to bring in Brendan Hausen to be the primary perimeter scorer on your team that you need to find a better option if you want to be a team that has NCAA tournament hopes. And I would advise Brendan Hausen respectfully, you just had a season of that where you were honestly paid pretty well from what I heard.
Hmm.
So I don't know how much fun you had. You're back in the portal. I would assume you didn't have that much fun being the primary option on a bad team. Go find somewhere that you can impact a winning team because that's the one thing we haven't seen Brendan Hausen do. There are teams that will win on this list without Brendan Hausen. You could add him to them. He's not going to hurt their chances of winning.
Hmm.
I think it's likely that on some of these teams, he would be a bench piece. I still think he'll play more than he did at Villanova because shooting is shooting, and he's one of the best shooters in the portal. But I would sort of like to see him end up on maybe a Kansas, maybe a Gonzaga, maybe an Illinois, maybe even an Ole Miss. Can he be Sean Padula 2.0? I think that's somewhat possible. He's not Padula, but
You
he could play
disrespected
that
Sean
role.
too much on this podcast for my liking.
He could play that role, is all I'm saying.
Absolutely not.
He could play that role.
Padula's got shit to him, man.
You don't think Hausen has shit to him?
No, 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 no. I think Hausen thinks he's Cam Spencer, but he's not.
Okay.
But like I do agree with your point about like him not being the guy though. Like you take like if he's a bench guy for Tennessee and he's just a shooter off the bench. You got
Yeah.
Gillespie, you got Rice. That's perfect. Like maybe even want to go small sometimes. You can have all three of those guys on the floor. That's a possibility. Uh, Kansas, I can see the same thing. Gonzaga, I can see the same thing. I think to your point, where you run into danger is where he would go to, I don't know, DePaul and be the best guy, or be the guy who has the ball in his hands the whole time, or like I don't know the other schools on that list. I think it's gonna be interesting to see kind of what he's looking to get out of his next school.
Yeah. 100%. Does any school on this list jump out as like you would love to see him go there?
I wish my team was on this list.
Yeah, you would like him?
Yeah, I think he brings some shooting to the two. Yeah, I would.
It is kind
Um,
of a good, in theory, Michigan State could use a guy that just is a dead eye like that.
yeah. I like Tennessee. I like Kansas. Um, I think Gonzaga too would work. Not sure. I don't know. I could also like he's got an Iowa face.
He does have an Iowa face.
Yeah.
Ben McCollum would be a weird pairing, I feel like. But
Yeah. I think those are the ones that pop out to me at
should
first.
Illinois want him?
I think yes, given how the rest of the roster is being constructed.
Like, you kind of actually need some legitimate shooting.
Yeah.
I think I'm with that. But I think he would be a bench piece if he ends up at Illinois, which is kind of the situation I want him to find himself in, right?
You don't think he started the two?
Um, they still got a lot of pieces to figure out, but I would
Mm,
think, I mean, maybe if this is like a backup plan to Josh Dix, I don't hate it, but I feel like Illinois will bring in a better player to start next to Kai Lynn Boswell.
yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to Brendan Hausen. We have a lot to figure out about where he'll be headed.